Hi, and welcome to another episode of Remember This.
This show that I'm working on with Matthew Piazzi is really fun, but it's a very challenging moment for me because this guy is a little bit of a guy, and I'm not used to real guys in my life in any way. And it's interesting. His mother was a very famous opera singer, and she's a voice teacher and all this other stuff. So he knows how to chill into being with a woman on set and everything. But it's a really fascinating moment. It's just interesting, and I've been noticing this because at this point in the pandemic, I anybody that's willing to hang out and work, I'm just all about. Let's go, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Just to
We'll
get out of the
figure it
house.
out.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people that are just so terrified. But very interesting time. It's a really interesting time we're living in, for sure.
You know what? They say this is like the most exciting time to be alive. And because when everything unfolds, we don't see it now, but when everything unfolds, yeah, we're going to be living the way we were born to be living.
Why does it feel like it's been unfolding for 30 years?
Yeah.
It's true. Get it done already?
It's true.
It's like kind of dragging it out.
I know.
Oh my God.
It'll happen. You know what it is? They've been around, for over 1,000 years, and their roots are so deep. It's like taking down a giant oak tree.
Yeah.
You got to get all the roots out. So it takes time, but it'll be worth it.
I hope.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it was great talking with you.
Absolutely.
Oh my
Great
gosh. You got to come back and do it again because I want to hear more.
Yeah.
More from you.
I could prattle on for hours about anything. We didn't even get talking about aliens.
Oh God, we didn't talk about aliens. She'd be great on our round table. Oh, we got to bring you on our round table.
Right. Yes.
I'm gonna. I'll send you the link to my YouTube channel, and you can just look up the round tables. We did 4 of them so far, right, Caleb?
Absolutely, yes.
And we plan on doing a lot more. People love them because we cover so many different topics.
Oh, that sounds fun.
So much fun. It really is. Yeah. And it's great when we all put our heads together, and I'll learn something that, Caleb will teach us something that we didn't know, or vice versa. And, we just learn off each other, and it's great.
That is very cool. Very cool.
Thank you.
Well, I have.
I feel like I've known you a long time now.
I know, right? And it's so funny when. Oh my goodness, this baby dog is just eating everything. I don't even know what this thing is he has in his mouth. It's like,
eating what he's not supposed to be eating. Is he teething? Maybe he's teething.
No, all his baby teeth fell out.
Oh, okay.
He just wants some kind of. No, I don't know where he found it. It's some sort of paper product.
Oh. Look like
He's such a funny dog. Huh?
It looked like it was a piece of bark from a tree.
Doesn't it? That's probably why he likes it. He loves to go outside and grab sticks and chew on them. But this dog is literally, I'm almost convinced that he's the reincarnation of my dog, who's my favorite dog of my entire life, who died 10 months ago. Come here. No, there's nothing in there. They look identical. And this dog just slipped right into my house effortlessly, as if he is my guy, my Gizzy. This guy, and I used to call my Gizzy.
Look at that one. Is that the one that gets all excited?
Yes.
Okay.
This is the one that I think is a reincarnation, an instant reincarnation, because we weren't done. Our love was beyond. And he needed to come back. Say hi. He's so cute. Isn't he funny? And he
was like such a lovable woman.
Oh,
And your kids are like this too? They love the pets like you do.
Yes, they totally do. And I'm so lucky that they do. Because
They followed in your footsteps with acting too.
they did for a while prior to us coming to Glen Ridge, but then they were shamed from being part of the acting world. And so I'm really hoping that it's interesting. Both of them don't care if they ever go back to school again. They're totally happy being online schooled. I actually took them out of school when we were in Brooklyn for a year to homeschool them.
Okay,
And I took them to Paris that year for 2 months for 2 weeks, and we lived in our country house in the Poconos, and that's when they learned how to roller skate. Come here.
nice.
But stop. But the thing is,
It's spraying the water.
yeah,
I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that.
it works, and it doesn't hurt them.
No, it doesn't hurt them.
And this guy, like when I squirt him with it, he opens his mouth to drink it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's probably what mine would do.
At least it's a distraction from the barking, you know. But my kids, they wanted to do acting, and they're both SAG, and they're really good. But then once we got here, that all got crushed, and I'm hoping that if the pandemic continues, to the extent that at least school gets canceled, they can start to become part of my world more. I know it's in them. I don't want them to be on Wall Street or do something that's just about, I don't even understand what Wall Street people do. They just look at money and then move money, and it's so boring. What's that? Money is so
Very
stupid anyway.
It's a very high stress job too.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like
Large sums of money.
I told my daughter, if you came to me tomorrow and said that you got a full scholarship to go to Princeton University to study law, I'd be really sad. I would, because I know that wouldn't make you happy. And that's the bottom line.
And that's really the thing. You know, if you can do what you love doing, God, that's it. That's what it's supposed to be all about. A lot of us, we're not doing what we had dreams of doing. You know.
Yeah, that's the exciting thing.
Jobs and
I've made sure that with whatever I'm doing, since I had my kids, I did plenty of things I didn't like prior to them, but since they came, I've made sure that whatever I'm doing, I am utilizing my abilities so that they can see how wonderful it is to channel the artistic side into making money, so that it's not about the money, it's about the connections, the love, the people. Right now, I'm working on something I'm not making a penny on. Eventually, it'll make money. But the joy that I'm getting out of it is equal to all the money in the world. And my kids are seeing how happy I am, and it's affecting them. And that is the key.
Yeah. You could relate to that, right? Because you're doing your music. That's what you love doing. Caleb?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said you could relate to that, right?
Yep.
Caleb, do you have kids?
No, I don't have no kids. Unfortunately, didn't meet the right woman to even attempt to even have any kids. So.
You will.
I'm glad that is.
Yeah.
Huh?
I said you will.
I hope so.
You will. Yeah.
And what's your thing? So you're a musician?
Yeah, I'm more of a singer. I do play a little bit, but I stick to singing vocally. I'm a vocalist.
And that's great. What's the style generally?
Well, the style, at one point it was just basically R&B, but now I do top 40, I do gospel, I do pop, I do a little rock. I'm also a wedding singer, so I do everything.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
You sang on Broadway.
Really?
Yes, I was on Broadway. That was 20 years ago. I did a play called Mama, I Want to Sing.
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
That is amazing. And do you have a YouTube channel?
Yes, I do. It's youtube.com/ridewith and the number 9.
Ride with 9? Okay.
Yeah, Ride With 9. Yeah, because I use the Ride With is one of the names of my song.
Your song? Did you write it?
Yes, I'm also a
Ah.
songwriter as well. Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's so cool. I want to check that out.
Oh, please do, please do, please do, and I hope you enjoy it. You'll get to see
I bet
all
I
my
will.
music. Right.
That's awesome. And so how are you finding yourself getting through, like, were you performing live prior to the pandemic?
Before, yes, I was doing literally every weekend. I was doing 2 gigs a night.
Wow.
Well, 2 gigs a day, one in the afternoon and one in the evening. Yeah. And then when
Wow.
the pandemic hit, it just shut everything down to the
Yeah.
point where it's kind of like, does the wedding thing exist? Is it real?
Yeah, people aren't getting married anymore.
That's what it feels like. It feels like no one wants to step in, right?
Well, the thing is, like, people, like, because they've been stuck with each other in a house for all this
Right.
time, they're like, well, maybe we shouldn't do this.
Yeah, I know of 2 couples that broke up already. Literally living together, and they broke up because they were locked down
Yeah.
together.
I
Yeah.
think there's going to be a trend. I think over this next year, we're going to see a lot of that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, there's this thing that I do. You got to check out this guy, Matthew Piazzi, Piazzi. He's got a YouTube channel, and every Friday night he does his performances from his apartment.
Oh, that's great.
And he built like this whole thing, and that's what I found him through Facebook, because they moved Ancient Aliens from Friday to Saturday, and I sat down on April 17th to watch my Ancient Aliens, and it wasn't on, so I was like, damn, I'm gonna just look for some good science articles on Facebook. And I'm scrolling through, and I find this crooner in a tuxedo in this apartment, and singing, and it's an hour-long show, and I started texting with him. Next thing you know, I'm making a show with him. So you should really, yeah, but you should, beyond even going online yourself, maybe you should even come one night and perform at Matthew's on a Friday night.
Ooh.
Yeah.
On his show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Right? Wouldn't that be fun?
that would be fun.
And but you should look and see, because like his stuff is all like crooner, 50s, 60s. So like if you did that R&B kind of thing, oh man, that would fit in so nice, so nicely.
That would be nice. All right, I'm gonna check him out.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Are we Facebook friends yet?
If not,
you guys
we
are.
should be.
You will
Yeah.
be after the show.
Yeah. So make sure you get in touch, and then I'll hook you guys up. But it would be great to have you on the show on Friday night, for sure. And the thing that we're doing, this TV, well, web-based probably. Oh, here we go, freezing again. Hate it when that happens. I don't know why. So when
Jersey Towers. No.
when we're creating this show, and it's really fun. But it would be fun because he does these male makeovers. So if you want to come and like do a male makeover and then perform in the show, I think it would be so fun.
Oh my God. Oh,
Right?
I have to see that.
Yeah, I know you do.
Fun.
Well,
Right.
you guys can all come over. We have these like they're kind of like these private parties every Friday night. I've been going now for 3 weeks. It's so good. You guys, oh my God.
Right.
So good. It's crazy.
That sounds good. Where are they, in Jersey?
No, in Manhattan on 17th Street between 7th and 8th.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's parking after 6.
Oh God. Okay, you just sold me. That's great.
You're right.
That's always like the worst part of going to the city.
You're right.
Oh,
Exactly.
Yeah,
The parking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it would be really fun, and I think it would be great to have you on. You know.
That would be Caleb. Yeah, he did a concert on Instagram.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. I want to see that.
Well, the sad thing is that Instagram only kept it for a couple of days and then they erased it.
What the?
I
Why?
didn't know they do that. Really?
Well, yeah, on certain things because the contract clauses and stuff like that when you sing other people's music,
Oh,
but there's no money being distributed, so why? You know what I'm saying? But
YouTube is like that too. Even if you're not monetized, they'll say copyright infringement. They'll
right,
block it.
and they'll
Wow.
block it, right? So
I'm
they
not making
block it.
money. My show is a nostalgia show, so of course I have to play clips from old shows and old songs and stuff because that's what we're remembering, back in the day stuff. But yeah,
Wow.
they would block some stuff.
So frustrating.
Yeah.
Then I moved to Vimeo. Then I started putting our show on Vimeo. But
That's
now I'm
gonna
back
be
on
fun.
YouTube. Yeah, because now we're doing the roundtables. And you don't get too many people on Vimeo. You get more people on YouTube, more subscribers. Yeah.
Wow.
And
All
since
these
we started
things.
talking about since we started talking about like what's going on, current, issues and stuff, about the COVID and, Federal Reserve and all this stuff going on, I went from 1.7 thousand subscribers to like almost 8,000 I'd say in about 2 weeks because people want,
Really?
yeah,
And you
people,
and yeah. And
people
you
need hope. People need hope. It's a scary world
Right.
that we're living in right now, and people need hope, and that's what we're offering them. Hope,
and you can't none of this information is out there in like the common media.
Well, you're not going to hear it from the media, yeah, because they already have their narrative, and that's their agenda. So
And
we
how
follow something
frustrating.
called Q. Did you ever hear about Q?
Of course I know about you.
Okay, so yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it started in February for me. A friend of mine sent me a meme that said QNN instead of CNN, and I felt kind of stupid because I didn't know what that meant. So finally, I text back. I'm like, "What? What does that mean?" He's like, "You don't follow Q." I'm like, "No, what's Q?" And then he just started explaining to me. It's a message board, and it's military intelligence, and basically they're giving us messages every day and telling us what's going on behind the scenes. And so after doing our roundtables, we found out from Charlie Ward from the UK. He did research on Q. Q was started by John Kennedy in
Yeah.
1962. Yeah, he started Q, and because he was in fear of his life and he wanted to get a message to the people. And
Yep.
then he was assassinated, and every time somebody tried to bring Q back, they went missing. And then Trump became president, right? He took office January 2017, and then all of a sudden, October 2017, Q reappeared. And we've been getting messages ever since.
Now, have you and what do you think of the fact that the person that is truly behind it all, the real Q, is actually John F. Kennedy Jr.?
I hope so. I kind of like 99%. If I
Me
could show
too.
you my shirt, I don't even know where I put it. But I have the George magazine where he says I'll
Yeah.
reemerge in 2020.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you heard what happened last week. I put a little video on my channel. His cousin, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., was being interviewed in a chat, and somebody typed, "If JFK Jr. is alive, touch your nose." And all of a sudden, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. went like this. And that was just last week. Yeah. So I really, really believe that, he's here. He's
And
here.
did you see that? I'm sure you've seen that video that looks exactly like the wife, the blonde, but in the hat
Yeah, because Vince
at the
Fusca,
rally.
you could tell Vincent Fusca is wearing a fake nose because it always changes. Every time you see him, it looks thinner or bigger or small.
Mm.
It's a fake nose and a wig that man is wearing. But the
Mm.
woman he's with looks exactly like Carolyn.
Yeah,
No doubt.
just
Right?
age. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Well,
That was wild.
he said he was going to take down the corrupt government that killed his father. That's what he said he was going to do.
How amazing would that be?
You have to watch because it really touches base. It really talks about the whole JFK Jr. and Q is Fall Cabal. Did you see that one yet? Okay,
I
so
think I have.
it's a 10-part series.
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. The woman is from, I think, the Netherlands.
Yep. I saw
Remember,
it. Amazing.
part 10? Remember part 10? Let me tell you, when I watched this, first of all, it's a 10-part series. I think it's 3 hours long, but
Yeah.
I was glued. I didn't even get up. I didn't get up. I
No, me
sat
neither.
and watched. I had to see the whole thing.
Yeah.
And when 10 came out and they started talking about, well, Trump can't be the one to tell everybody what happened because a lot of people don't like Trump. Who would be the perfect person? JFK Jr. Oh, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, he's no longer with us. And then she goes, or is he? You don't know. I jumped up. I says, oh my God, I hope this is true.
Yeah.
I really do.
How can you imagine what would happen in this country if that came to pass?
Action of people, the reaction.
Yeah.
First of all, everybody would want him to be president. That's no doubt.
Well, I think the first thing that would happen actually is that many people would say that's not him, no matter what. There would be such like crazy denial. He'd have to have a DNA test and forensic bone scans, or because, and then they'd want to, because was he buried or the body? Well, I'm sure there was a body.
Saw the body. Nobody ever saw the body.
Fascinating. Well, of course they didn't, because do
you know that John F. Kennedy, his burial site is in the shape of a Q, and JFK Jr.'s burial site is in the shape of a Q, and I'm going to take us over to England. Princess Diana's burial site is in the shape of a Q, and that's another thing that they said, that possibly she faked her death. Yes. So there's a lot of, I know we sound crazy to people that are not into conspiracies, but
oh, I'm all in.
you know what? I just read a meme the other day. I said, that is so true. Noah was a conspiracy theorist, and then it rained.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes,
Noah.
Absolutely.
And it rained, so.
Yeah.
That'd be great, though. Yeah. That would be great.
I just want to live and be happy together. That's all. My favorite time in my life so far has been just prior to 9/11. Felt like we were all in sync. It was all good. There was a flow. And then it just felt like everything freaking went off the rails. There was like this push to change things in a way that wasn't natural. It wasn't organic. Even this virus, I don't really believe it's organic. Truly.
And the numbers. You see what Trump is doing now?
Yeah, and oh God,
taking control of those numbers because he's not trusting the numbers. Think about it. If a person's in the hospital for a week and they test them 5 times, they're counting 5 COVID cases. The numbers are not accurate. A lot of people that were tested positive don't have COVID. I'm so glad he's doing this, to find out what the real numbers are.
How crazy is it though? People don't want to look. People don't want to see. They don't want to know. There's such a fear. There's such I don't know what people are even afraid of. Like, why would anybody be afraid to question something? I've literally put posts up about things and have people say to me, it's wrong to question because you're sending the wrong message. I'm like, how can asking a question send the wrong message? How can questioning authority, that has always been who we are as a country and a society, and if we're suddenly being taught to not question authority out of nowhere, why? I'm baffled. I'm so baffled. I don't understand. I almost feel like we're living in some sort of invasion of the body snatchers, honestly. Because there are people that I never thought would be so freaking crazy that are completely insane. And I don't think they are who they were. And maybe that's like a version of the virus that it like takes hold of your brain and like scramble it. And you're like, I don't know.
There are people that believe certain people.
It's so funny. It's possible, right?
I think she's more red pilled than she thinks. Than she knows. Well, they talk about there are clones. I mean, we don't know how much is real, but they're saying that certain leaders and celebrities are clones, you know, that it's not even them. And, you know, that's,
Go down the hole.
oh, you're going down that rabbit hole.
Go.
Bring
We're
some
all like,
carrots.
shh. No,
No, but it's always good to be a free thinker and just research. That's what I tell people. Just research and prove me wrong. I mean, that's all.
Yeah.
I'm not telling anybody to believe any certain thing. I'm telling them what I've researched and what I found out. Now you go and do your own.
People don't like to hear that. They're like, but Fauci says. Fauci. He knows everything. Like, really? Okay. He's one of the owners of the Wuhan lab. He does know everything, but probably not in the way you imagine. So, yeah.
My daughter just got into it with somebody today. Somebody she knew from, I don't know, from years ago, maybe from high school. But she posted something and he jumped all over her. Oh my God, not you too. Oh my God, you're crazy. You're one of those conspiracy theorists. Da, 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 da. And so she's trying to just explain logically why she believes what she believes. And he doesn't want to hear it. You know, he goes, and now listen to this. He goes, and why is the president doing a photo op in front of a church? She says, you see, you just proved that you don't have a mind of your own, that you're reciting the mainstream media because they're the ones that said photo op. Who said photo op? The mainstream media. Every single channel, because they're all owned by the same people. So now people are just repeating what they're hearing on the news. Think for yourself. I don't even watch the news. I watch Fox once in a while, but they're repeating. They don't really have a mind of their own. They're just repeating what they hear on the news.
It's sad. It's really sad. I don't know. I'm scared for humanity that they were able to be subdued so easily. Really, really.
Mask thing, you know. Oh, I have to wear a mask, and these people can't breathe. I'll tell people in the street they look like they're dripping in sweat, and I'm like, take your mask off and breathe. There's nobody around. Breathe.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay to take your mask off. Breathe.
You know what's really interesting? I was driving through an area, I think it's near Clifton, New Jersey or something like that today, and Route 7. But there was like a bunch of Hasidic kids that were doing some sort of fair in this parking lot, and they had these signs that were in Hebrew, so I couldn't read them. But they had these signs, and they were trying to get people to come to their fair. And I looked; the kids weren't wearing masks. None of the people. There were tons of people. None of them wearing masks. And as I drove, all the Hasidic people were not wearing masks at all. And I remember that during the pandemic, I had to take a friend to Brooklyn for something. And I mean, it was like in the midst of it all. And I had to drive through the more Hasidic part of Williamsburg. Nobody was wearing a mask. I did not hear anything about how, oh, well, all the Hasidics have like way more virus than everybody else. Didn't hear that. So I find it fascinating, and I'm just so curious about so many things. But you can't ask these questions. You can't, because people are terrified of the questions. Why are people terrified of questions? Why? I don't understand. Never before have people been so afraid to ask.
Because the fear that's put in them. It's basically a fear. Am I right? The fear from the mainstream media that if you don't do what we tell you need to do, you're going to die, or your family members are going to die. I mean, that's the fear.
It's so stupid.
Yeah. And think about it. You know, they're pumping out all these numbers, but the reason we have so many numbers is because we're the only country that is testing people that don't have symptoms. No other country are doing COVID tests on people with no symptoms. So of course you're going to find people that have it, but a lot of these people that have it don't even have, they're not sick. And if they're saying, I mean, the CDC came out and said it's no worse than the regular flu. So why are we locking down our country? Why are we keeping businesses closed? Why are we keeping these kids out of school if it's no worse than the regular flu? And think about the population. They're giving you these big numbers of COVID cases, but they're not saying how many people live in that state. So it's like a 0.1% that have the COVID. Didn't die from it, just have it. So it's all these things
Also, think about the way the virus moves. So when the virus started, it was in China, and it was huge. We didn't have anything in the United States. It had to move like radiation through the planet. It got to New York. It hit because of that guy in Westchester who came and infected everybody, whatever. It's like the zombie apocalypse. And then, everybody got shut down, and it worked its way through, whatever. And people dispersed. People left New York, and they went south. They went west. They went wherever. And it took time. It takes time. Like, I don't know why the statistics are not looking at the per capita. When you talk about the population of New York, you're talking about the same as the population of Germany. You're not talking about, they're comparing Germany to the United States.
Right.
It's completely different numbers. Why is nobody saying this? You're completely different numbers. And while it had not reached here yet, and that is why we didn't have it when Europe had it, and now Europe is done with it more and more, but now it's moving into Texas and California, the places that didn't get it yet. And then it'll run its course there for 2 months, just as it did here, and then it'll be finished. But I don't understand why it's like, oh, United States have a spike. It's like, no, it's not the United States. New York's doing really well. We haven't had a case in 4 days now. But now it's a little more in Florida, more in Texas, more in California. But they didn't get it yet. But they hadn't gotten it. It didn't get there.
Immunity. What about building up our immune systems? Nobody talks about how to build up your immune system. Nobody talks about, and God forbid you say take vitamin C. Oh, we're going to take down your video. Don't tell, you can't say anything that CDC is not saying. But, it's a fact. They're silencing the doctors that are coming forward and saying, build up your immune system. This is no worse than the flu. Yeah. Or take the hydroxychloroquine with the erythromycin. This is curing a lot of people. They're silencing these doctors. Because they don't want it to get out, because they want to keep people in fear so they can control it, so they can bring out the vaccine, and then eventually they want to bring the chip, and they want to chip everybody, and they want the New World Order.
Well, I have a question for both of you. Oh, what were you going to say, Caleb?
No, I'm saying she was absolutely right. It's a money thing, too.
Yeah, no, totally.
Definitely.
Yeah. Have either of you ever gotten the flu shot?
No.
Me neither. Never. Not once. And every year, I've gotten a little bit a little achy or sniffly, nothing crazy. Once, 13 years ago, I got the flu really bad. But I believe, and I've always believed, as probably you guys do, or else you would get a flu vaccination, that my body will handle processing something far better than a vaccination that comes in, tampers with my DNA, RNA, whatever, and therefore I will build immunity for whatever comes next, with my body understanding, by having processed the viruses from prior years, that there is a progression of evolution. Like I'm allowing my immune system to understand the evolution of viruses, and the fact that it's always corona, there's always a little SARS in it, there's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So I believe that while we may have a high number of people that may test positive, I've got all my tests back. Not only did I not have the virus, it shows I had no antibodies. But I believe that there is a possibility that if you have never had a flu vaccination and your body is used to processing this shit, every year we get shit, we process it, it's like, kick that one out too. We may not have antibodies because our bodies are so adapted to processing it that we may not show our bodies as having gotten it at all. So I don't know, I'm sure there's not a study for this because it's not a popular thing. Why would there have been a flu vaccination for free at CVS every single year if there was not some sort of end game, they would not give away free pharmaceuticals in this country unless there was like an ulterior motive ever. Why would they give away anything for free? Nothing is given away for free unless there's an end game.
There was some kind of study that a lot of the COVID patients got the flu shot. And there were even questions on Facebook. Questions like, can you please tell me if you had the flu shot or not? Or if you know anyone that had COVID, if they had the flu shot? They were trying to tie it together. And it is a possibility that it had the strain of the COVID in it, in the flu shot.
Did you ever... have you ever heard of anybody who had COVID that had not had the flu shot? Ever. I'm talking about like, I've never had a flu shot. I will not allow anybody to give me or my kids.
I know a couple of people that had the COVID that did have a flu shot.
Right. But not the other way.
No.
It's interesting. I just feel like it hit me the other day. Because I know my parents, long story, they were ridiculously sick in February. And they never get flu shots, ever. But they got over it. And I have a feeling, and they don't show antibodies or anything, but all the symptoms. I was on Mucinex for 4 weeks between late January through the end of February. And it was the kind that you're supposed to take every 12 hours. I was taking it every 8 hours.
Did you get a
fever?
No fever?
Never a fever. Feeling like really out of it, a little bit of a sore throat. Nothing crazy enough to shut me down, but I needed the Mucinex so I could breathe. And I would lay, every night, I would have to sleep in my bed a little propped up, because if I laid back completely, I'd panic, feeling like I wasn't able to breathe. And when I got the antibody tests 3 weeks ago, I was so excited. I thought, for sure, the antibodies are gonna show up. Nothing. I found out today. I'm like, there's nothing. And I thought, that's impossible. I know I processed it. And that's when I started coming up with this theory. I'm like, okay, there's got to be something else, because everything about it is the low grade version of it. And it's exactly what my parents had, but they were 500 miles from me. We hadn't contacted each other. So it was simultaneous, even though it wasn't related. Like, I didn't give it to them. They didn't give it to me. So there's got to be some other thing. And the only thing I could think of was the fact that we probably had it, but because we don't get the flu vaccination, and our bodies are used to processing the flu every year. Once again, I just went to work and said, okay, well, this is a new one, but we can do this. Let's go through it and get it done. And it got done.
Your immune system is healthy. So yeah, your immune system is healthy and you can fight it off. And that's probably what happened. I might have had a touch of it in the very beginning of February. For 2 days, I had a fever. I couldn't get off the couch. I'm like, what? I never get sick.
Yeah.
No, but I read on the CDC website that if you test positive for antibodies, it doesn't mean you had the COVID. And I'm like, what is going on?
Why would that be?
I swear to God, it said this doesn't necessarily mean that you had the COVID. It could just mean you have a virus or a common cold. It's there. You can look for it. I couldn't believe I was reading this.
I believe you.
Then why are people testing?
I don't believe them.
Yeah, it's like, but why are they testing for antibodies if that doesn't even really mean that they have the COVID? So now everyone that tests positive for antibodies, they're listing them with the numbers of people with COVID. And it doesn't necessarily mean they have it. So that's why I don't listen to those numbers. Those numbers are off.
Well, then, that's a really fucked up theory for them. Because what about the people that supposedly are getting these bags of antibodies and getting better within 3 days? Is it placebo? Maybe. Who knows?
I had another theory because I was thinking, well, I think that they said there was a report that some of the tests, the coronavirus tests, were tainted with the virus. Did you hear that? Oh, yeah. In the very beginning, maybe around April, the end of April, maybe May, there were reports of tainted tests. And what surprised me was, what got me a little curious, when Chris Cuomo was on the news with his brother, Governor Cuomo, and he said, I got tested for the virus in the morning, and it said I was positive. He goes, but I didn't have any symptoms until that night. He goes, it was really weird. And I'm like, was it really weird? Or was the test tainted? I mean, you don't know what to believe anymore.
Well, you know what? This was kind of weird for me because I had to do a surgery I had surgery about two weeks ago, and I had to take the COVID test before they went on ahead and did the surgery. So I said, okay, I'll do that. Now I had the antibodies and I came out negative. So when I took the COVID test, they took a long swab, stuck it all the way up my nose, and then they took it out and stuck it up my other part of my nose. Instead of using another one, another swab, they used the same thing and stuck it up both sides. And I was wondering, why would you do that? Because if there's something going on this end, then it could not be on the other end. And it's like you put more bacteria now back into me. You know what I'm saying? So, but thank God I was negative. But I'm just saying though, it was just kind of funny how they using one swab, and that swab could be tainted by just because you don't know.
Well, they said that happened in the hospitals too. That they were using the nurses were using the same gloves with the COVID patients and the non-COVID patients.
Wow.
Yeah.
Say,
things that
God, don't you wish so much?
Right.
I just wish like we could. I really pray that all this comes out in the end, and we know. I hope it's not like another 9/11 or JFK thing where, oh, it's all conspiracy nuts and blah, blah, blah. And we have to talk about this for the next 30 years while we try to like imagine what they were really intending. I just wish for once it would be out and we can deal with it and get through it and move on to the next thing and find a better way to live in this world. Because all this shit is just so, like, why does whatever this ultra thing might be that would want to control humanity, why would that be? Like, why not just let human beings just become the great thing that they could be? Why would somebody want to limit that?
they're evil. That's the bottom line. They're evil.
So sad.
Yeah.
It's so wrong.
God wins. I believe it. We're going to win in the end.
We better. And I just need to, I want to see it really soon because this is ridiculous.
I'm hoping we're going to see big time arrests. Like people, we're going to be shocked when they see these people getting arrested. People that we looked up to and admired, and we're going to be shocked. A lot of stuff's going to come out.
I hope. Boy, I hope. No, Dash, you can't get up top.
Oh, we're going to have to come to a close, but this was the longest and one of the most exciting interviews
I've
ever had. So it was great talking to you.
I
Gotta
love
do it again.
Yes.
Maybe we'll get you on one of our roundtables. That would be awesome.
That
would
would be
that.
awesome.
I would so love that. I can't wait to meet your other friends. I mean, if they're as awesome as you two, forget it.
Aw, thank you. Yeah,
I'll
they're
just
pretty
hang
cool
out with you
people.
guys all night. We'll do an all-nighter until the sun
Yes.
comes up.
Good. We should do that. All right, Deb, if you want anyone to get in touch with you or, check out your IMDb or anything, do you have any contact info you want to pass around? Maybe a Facebook?
I'm on Facebook. Wait.
Okay.
I'm on Facebook, Deborah Twiss. I'm a TWISS. I have a website, DeborahTwissActress.com. I have my production site, Luckstar Productions, which is LUCSTAR. It's a long story. We missed that one. Yeah, whatever. Irrelevant. And I'm on Instagram, all those things. And I'm pretty much just always Deborah Twiss. And you see me. So it doesn't look like me if it's not me.
Awesome. You're awesome.
Thank you. Thank you both
so
awesome.
much.
Have a great night. Say goodbye, Jess.
Awesome.
Bye, baby. Bye, sweetie.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching. Want to say goodbye to our viewers.
Thank
we
you,
usually
everyone.
we usually do the dating game kiss. Can we do that for the viewers?
What is
do you
that?
remember the dating game kiss with Jim Lang? Did you watch the dating game?
Okay, ready?
All right, so we're going to say thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. Check out Deborah Twiss on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll put all the information below at the bottom of the video. So until next time. Yay, all right. Awesome.
Thank you, guys. And I'm going to go check out your YouTube channel, Caleb.
Please do. You gonna
awesome.
love it.
Thank you, guys.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
All right.
Bye, guys.